What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is your friendly neighborhood investor, Patrick Hurley, back again with my co-host, legendary deal negotiator and transactional ninja, Gary Shevitz.
Hey everyone, welcome. Hump day, hump day.
Gary, I like to believe that I, that's the best intro. I'm the best intro man that you've had.
Oh yeah, I got news for you. The only intro man I've
The one and only.
had. So good, bad, or otherwise,
I gotta
you rank.
preface. I gotta preface your prowess. How you doing, man?
You asking me? I'm doing great.
Good, 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 good. You got a lot of transactions going on lately?
Well, a few new contracts out today. Like I say, I hope some of them actually get signed.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Every
that's
time
that's
I hear that email ding, it could be one of them incoming.
you're like a rat, a little pellets.
Right.
Yeah, I know the feeling. We got five in contract this week, and we've got two closing in the next week. So we're doing pretty good. We got some momentum going this month. So today, guys, before we get started, I want to know who here is new. If you're new in the chat, say new. If you are not new and you've been hanging out with us for a while, type fam. So either new or fam. Okay, we got somebody new here. Just want to see where we're all at. What's up, Jason Lee? Jason's back. Oh, we got AI here. I love how the AI has said hello.
Sorry, it's I. It's not AI.
Oh, hi.
Hi, sorry. It's my first day night in the office, so I can actually turn on the camera. Woohoo!
Awesome. All right, we got a lot of people returning. That's nice. That's good. Cool.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of all the AI.
Getting rid of the AIs.
Okay, I
The
see.
AI bots, not the I,
Lynn, huh?
not I, Lynn. Just,
Hey, I got that a lot, so I'm not offended.
just all those AI bots. They drive me crazy. People, I don't know. People think that they can just record other people's copyrighted material. No consideration whatsoever. I think it's extremely rude.
But we're just pumping out original content, baby. So if
We
you guys,
are original content,
we're all original. Uh, all right. So what I'm gonna do, guys, if you are new, I'm just gonna post some videos in the chat for you guys. Inside of these links, we're also gonna give you a where to submit your deals if you do have them. I will get a notification. I'll update you as fast as I can on where your deal is. Thank you for your patience for those who have already submitted deals. Please know that I am already running an acquisitions business. And so this is kind of like a business on the side that we're developing. I've got another sub-2 student helping me. Mike Matthias is also, or Matthias, sorry, Mike.
Matthias.
Matthias.
Now, if you were in Europe, it might be Matthias. That's how they would pronounce
One of
it.
these days I'm going to
We're
pronounce
not in Europe. We're in the U.S. He's American. Let's go with Matthias. How's that? Where is Mike? Is he here?
I don't know if he's here or
He's
not.
not here.
But anyways, guys, in the chat, how to start wholesaling, how to get started with creative finance, and how to build a real estate business. Those are all very valuable resources. And then there's also some call scripts in there that I'm going to give you guys access to, as well as submission form for deals. So very valuable, guys. Make sure that you copy and paste that. Don't watch that stuff now. Be here now with us. Today, what I wanted to talk about.
And if people submit their names, will you work on butchering them?
I will.
Okay.
That's part of the
Part of the extra part of the service. No extra charge.
They signed off on that.
Okay.
So today I wanted to review what we've talked about in previous meetings. I want to go over the importance of the 5 pillars, because I think that's even at an intermediary or an advanced level, people still make mistakes there. And then maybe we could do a little bit of role playing and even possibly convince somebody here to jump on a live call, and so we can give them some feedback. So let's jump in real quick. In previous meetings, we've talked about how to wholesale, talked about the wholesale deal flow. I actually broke that. I gotta go back and fix that. And then we talked about creative deals, what sub two is, what equity is, how to find those deals, what we're doing in our businesses. And so today, what I want to talk to you about is kind of going back to the basics. Deal flow vetting. So basically the way that I'm looking at my deals, oh, look, it's populating now. Thanks. That's nice. Essentially the way that I filter deals is when I look at something that comes my way, is it a fixer? Yes or no? Right. If it's a fixer, you could possibly do creative, but most of the time it's going to be a cash wholesale deal. That's going to be the easiest strategy to exit. If it's not a fixer, if it's close to retail ready and it has low CapEx, then I'm considering creative on it, and I'm considering either holding it for myself or wholesaling it on terms to somebody else. Now, what's extremely important, and this is so big, guys, it's actually really basic, to be honest, but it's so big, and it's something that I still see. If I were to go into the circle right now and I would look through all the comments, I can guarantee you right now, I could get at least a handful of people who are saying, I need help. And they're not giving you any of this information here. And without this information, we cannot vet a deal for you. We cannot tell you if this is a possibility that you should be spending your time on. Okay. Without this, we don't have an exit strategy. Without this, we don't know if we should actually take action. And there's no action to be taken, right? So the first one is condition. This is super, super important. So if you're speaking to an agent and or seller, you want to know what's going on with the condition of the property if you can't already see it in pictures online. Specifically, the two items that are really going to throw off your numbers are going to be the roof, which it's not that big of a ticket item. It could be big. It'd be like up to 30 grand in some cases. But the biggest one is going to be the foundation. So when we're talking about condition, those are the two ones that you want to make sure that you get verbal confirmation that there's nothing really going on. Now, if you're speaking to an agent, they might have disclosures. They might cut you off in mid-sentence. They might not want to talk to you on the phone. That's fine. You just reply with, it sounds like you're busy, and I respect that. If you can send disclosures to my email, I would greatly appreciate it. So at least then you have those at your disposal. Okay. Gary, do you want to add anything to condition?
Well, no, I mean, the other big ticket item is HVAC. You always talk about roof and foundation, but HVAC, all major systems. So HVAC is a huge cost. If you're going to have to replace a central cooling and heating system, sometimes they're more expensive than the roof. And if they're on the roof, it's even more expensive because you got to bring in a crane. And if you got to do both at the same time, that's an issue. You should also ask if at this point, ask if a house has solar. That's getting to be more and more of an issue, and understanding how old it is, et cetera.
Right.
That could have some impact on your rehab. It could have impact on just owning the house. And you also want to know if a house is in an HOA.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's amazing feedback. The next one, guys, would be occupancy. So this is it tenant occupied? Is it owner occupied? Is it vacant? Right. Two of my favorite words are vacant lockbox when it comes to our business. Because access is easy. You can send buyers. That's what I love to hear. But if there's a tenant, you want to know your state and the tenancy laws, the laws around evicting. If it's a red state, it's usually easier to evict. If it's a blue state, it's not as easy. We're in California where we do most of my cash deals. We do not take properties with tenants in place unless they're open to creative and they're performing. It's just a non-starter for us. We'll negotiate cash for keys, which is where either we or the seller will pay the existing tenant cash They will sign a document, which actually in our state, and I don't know if this is the case for all states, but it should be signed and presented from the tenant, but usually it's an agent that's taking care of it, or we're taking care of it. So they sign that document, then the seller signs, then we give them some cash. We agree upon a day that they leave, and then that's cash for keys, right? So yeah, most of our buyers inside the state of California do not want to take tenants just because there's holding time, there's legal costs, and it can be quite a headache to deal with. So occupancy is really, really important, guys. This is also going to tell you something about your terms. If it's owner occupied, for example, they might want what's called a rent back, which is the ability to stay in the property after the close of escrow, which again, we do not do in our business. That's just how we operate. We're more than happy to extend the close of escrow. If they need the cash and we believe that they have secured another residence, we might do what's called a holdback, where we keep money in escrow and then give it to them at vacancy. But generally speaking, we want properties delivered vacant because it's just a clean transition for us to sell the property. So occupancy is very, very important, guys. And Gary, I hope you're keeping an eye on the chat because I'm not. If there's any questions that come up, just let me know.
I am. And
Awesome.
I'll just add a comment here that the tenant protection laws in states is directly proportionate to the homeless problem that state is experiencing. It's coming to Arizona soon. Phoenix is experiencing horrible, horrible levels of homelessness. They're like become a coastal state in that regard. So, things change, things evolve. Just keep that in mind. There are strategies that, if you're concerned about that, get legal advice or talk to an agent that knows what they're doing in the state that can advise you.
Yep. All very good points. Yeah. And so from a landlord standpoint, when I'm speaking with, basically, I don't manage any of my properties, but when I'm speaking to a property manager, I ask them how they handle new tenants. What's the process? If there's tenants in place, what's the process? And you want to make sure that they have their documentation in line with compliance of the state, so that you can have a smooth transition if you are picking up a property on creative finance where there's tenants in place. The other thing I would say is if you're doing cash deals, two things you might want to consider is reaching out to your buyers to see if they're open to taking tenants in place, non-performing and performing tenants, if they're open to that. And also reaching out to an eviction company that is in your state to ask them, what does the process look like? How much is it going to cost me? What are the risks involved? Run me through what this looks like, so that you're better educated and you can vet deals better when there are tenants involved. Cool. All right, guys, any questions on that? No. All right, guys. Cool. Motivation. This is, in our humble opinions, the most important pillar, especially with creative. Well, I guess it's equally important, huh, Gary?
Yeah, both. Absolute motivation is king.
Yeah, motivation.
It's the top of the pyramid, definitely.
So with cash, guys, we have to be able to make a profit, right? And generally, a flipper is trying to make 10%, right? And so what I often
10% of their sale price. Let's be specific.
Correct. Yeah, right. Thank you for jumping in there. 10% retail, right? 10% net of retail value is generally what their target is. Okay. So when I'm talking with agents and sellers, I ask them, hey, I'm an investor. Are you willing to work with an investor? Right. When the conversation gets there, I don't introduce myself as an investor, but what I say is, well, look, you said you're willing to work with an investor. That being said, we need to make 10% net retail value on this house, right? And so I break down the numbers for them. The retail value is 500. Our gross proceeds are going to be 450. We need to put 100K into it. That puts us at 350. Your ask here is 400. You said that you were willing to work with an investor, and I just broke all that down for you. Are we still on the same page, right? When you become good at understanding those numbers and creating context and conversations, that is when you are good at negotiation. When you have that breakthrough, a negotiator is born. Okay. That's what negotiation is. All right. So motivation, coming back to this, is, are they willing to work with an investor? Do they need to sell? Right. With cash deals, usually if it's a fixer and there's some real issues with the property, then it becomes very apparent. And you have to make that clear to both the seller and or the agent that, look, this is an investment opportunity because it's in such disrepair that a retail buyer is not even going to consider this house. So you have to have this conversation with me, right? With creative, this is also super important. Everybody gets really excited about the creative financing opportunities that there are out there, and they think they can apply them to all situations when that's really not the case. I truly look at creative financing as a tool to solve somebody's problem, right? And if there's no problem present, then creative finance isn't an option. I look at it very objectively, right? So seller finance, for example, for those of you who are new, who don't know what seller finance is, essentially you're creating a new mortgage, but the seller is holding that note, and you're basically creating terms. For example, you make a down payment, you make monthly payments, and then you pay them the total amount that's due at a specific time in the future. That is a very basic understanding of seller finance, right? If you're trying to find, somebody to sell you a property on seller finance, it's got to be the perfect storm, in my opinion. The last one I closed, to give you an example of motivation, the owner had a tenant who the tenant was her son. And the son and the son's wife were getting a divorce, and it was a nasty divorce. I won't go into the details of that, but it just so happened that she felt like she wanted to be done with the property. They weren't taking care of the property. She takes pride in her properties, so she didn't want to deal with it anymore. And because of her tax situation, seller finance was a perfect fit for that specific situation. So it was a tool to help her overcome the obstacle of selling that property. And we were very flexible with working with her in terms of terms and close of escrow and working with the transition of her son in that opportunity. In fact, I even offered to drive up and deliver their dogs that they were going to give to a shelter. I was going to deliver their dogs to a shelter that I knew of that was that we vetted. So I didn't end up doing that, but Pace talks about finding the bunnies in each situation. You have to look for circumstances like that, because not only are you doing the right thing by helping people, but you're building rapport. And when you build rapport, people are, they know, like, and trust you. They're going to want to do business with you. And this seller in specific actually just sold us another property a couple months back, and we're in negotiation on her third property as we speak. So
speaking of a similar motivation, I did one last fall in San Diego where finding the bunnies was being not the mom not being the one who was going to evict her son who was squatting on the property.
Brutal.
Really, seriously, the son wouldn't leave. The mother couldn't possibly bring herself to evict her son, so she sold it, and the buyers ended up doing that.
Yeah, that's
sad, right?
Yeah, but there's motivation there, and in that certain circumstance, that was the fix for her. So that's what we're talking about when it comes to motivation, guys. So if you hear like a seller say,
yep,
right, if you hear a seller say, "Make me an offer," and your reply is, well, why are you selling? And they reply with, well, I want to see what I can get for it. That's not motivation, right? They have to have a reason to actually want to sell. Okay. Any other touches you want to make on motivation?
Nope. Good.
Cool. Price is pretty straightforward, guys. With on-market properties or any properties, really, the way that we work in my acquisitions company is that in the very first stage, when we have a new lead, what has to happen is two things. Number one is we have to have these 5 pillars, and we have to have underwriting from that team member. In other words, we have to see how much they think renovation is going to cost, what the asking price is, what the assignment fee is, all of those numbers that are associated to our maximal allowable offer. That's what we call underwriting. We need the 5 pillars, and we need underwriting for that to be a qualified lead in our pipeline. So once we have that information, it goes from new lead to qualified lead. Okay, so with price, you basically, obviously, you want to know what the asking price is. So believe it or not, I've spoken to agents and sellers who do not have an asking price. If that is the case, that is not a motivated lead, in my opinion. Okay. If they say they don't know, then say figure it out, right? Like the analogy that I use is if I were to walk into a dealership and I'm buying a truck, I always use this analogy because I really want to buy a truck. And there's no sticker prices on any of the trucks. And then I turn to a salesman and I go, hey, what's the price of this truck right here? And he goes, well, make me an offer. Right? I'd walk out of that dealership and I'd never come back. That's essentially what not having an asking price is like. So it's really, really important that you have an asking price. If an agent says, well, they might be interested in selling and they don't have an asking price, they probably aren't interested in selling. Or they
if
haven't.
they have an agent, they have an asking price.
Believe it or not, I have like an agent right now, and she's bringing me quote unquote opportunities, and they're like, oh, they might be off market
Yeah,
opportunities.
we have to have, if you have an agent, you have a listing agreement, you have an asking price.
Right. If it's on market, obviously.
But the point of the asking price in knowing that is to find out if they're anywhere near the orbit of reality. Right? You know, if somebody's asking 200 more than that, you know, go look at FSBOs on Zillow.
Right.
And you know, right? Go look at those and do some comps on the FSBOs.
Yeah, guys, for those of you listening, FSBO is for sale by owner.
For sale by owner, right?
For sale by owners are notoriously out of their minds. They want what they want. They want to net more than, because they don't want to deal with an agent. And they're here to give you a hard time. But I will say this, for sale by owners are fantastic for practice.
Yeah, practice on them when you want to talk to sellers.
Yeah, because not only
there's no hope of ever getting the right price, but at least you could practice talking to them.
Yeah.
Get over your fears, get over whatever it is you need to get over, learn your talking points.
Yep. And you know what? You never know. You might close one. You might get the right one at the right time. But yeah, FSBOs are definitely good practice. So with that price, if we do have a price, then the next question that we want to ask, and this is really important, is are you firm on price? Right? And when we say firm, it's solid. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to break, right? So they're not willing to move on it. And if they're firm on price and you know that you're unable to meet your financial targets with that price, then you just be open about it. And you say that, look, I'm probably not going to be able to hit my financial targets and make you happy with the price that you want and what I need to come in at. And you change it, the verbiage. If it's a seller, that's what you say to a seller. If it's an agent, I'm probably not going to be able to make your seller happy. As I mentioned, I'm an investor. I can't hit my financial target at this price. You said you're firm, so this isn't a deal for me. Maybe I can follow up with you in the future. And what I typically tell my guys on my team is, I'll tell them, ask them if they're going to change their stance in the future. Are they going to change their mind in the future? What happens if they don't sell in 60 days? Are they going to change their mind? Great, I'll follow up with you then. If it's a no, they're just going to sit on it, then move on, guys. Don't push the topic. They're firm, it's not going to work. And if they say there's room, great. Let's talk about that. Let's find a middle point that we can negotiate to. Okay. All right, guys. Any questions on price?
Dorette has a question. Dorette, turn on your video and I'll bring you up so you can talk with us.
I have my video on. Hi, how are you?
Now you do.
I'm new. Hi, Patrick. I was the
welcome.
one bugging you in the private chat.
That's right. I remember you invited me to go to a courthouse in New Jersey or something like that.
Yeah, right. No, in Brooklyn. Okay, I'm very new, and I'm also new to the lingo. But I'm glad someone mentioned FSBO because I have a problem right here. I have a buyer who approached me. I'm not going to go into the logistics in it's a two bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, and 2 living rooms. So he wants me to get him a loan, but I wanted to wholesale it to get something out of it before I actually turn over everything to him. But he there's no address. I'm asking someone to help me out, and he said, well, I can't do anything unless there's an address. And I kind of understand the buyer's point of view, because maybe the person might run away with his deal, so I'm like into a rock and a hard place. I'm new and I don't I don't know what to do.
So just let me restate this so I know I'm understanding this correctly. You have a deal, but you haven't locked it up you haven't got it under contract
or anything.
And you have a buyer for it, or a buyer?
Yeah, the buyer approached me. He has everything set in there. The house is free and clear.
You don't want, is the buyer another wholesaler or an end buyer?
Well, he wants to fix and flip.
Okay,
so what's that? He's an end buyer, right?
Correct.
He wants me. He has a problem. He has a problem with the loan. So I said to him, yeah, I can get you the loan, because I wanted to keep him there. So, I could actually deal with him.
Are you a loan broker or?
Yeah, but I have other people.
Are you sure?
That
you
I
didn't sound too sure there. All right.
I have other people that I can approach. I have other people that I can approach with the situation to get him the loan. But I don't just want to hand it over to him, giving him the loan, and
so
then
what's stopping you from getting it under contract?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that.
Yes, I don't know how to. I know that's what we have to do, but I'm not, proficient at all to do such a thing. That's why I kind of reached out to Patrick and someone else. The guy that I reached out to, he said, well, okay, where's the address? So
let me pause you, because I'm going to ask you very specific questions and I want super short answers so I can help you quickly. Okay.
Yes.
Is this off market or on market?
I think it might have been off market.
The property that you're trying to purchase, you don't know if it's on or off market?
Yeah, he has it. The buyer is trying to purchase it from the seller.
I see. Okay, so it's not something you're trying to get under contract. You have somebody who you're in contact with who's trying to lock up a property, or who's trying to purchase a property.
Right.
Okay, and they just want a loan from you?
Your role in this transaction is a loan, or what?
Yeah. Right, but he asked me if I could get him the loan, but I wanted to see if I could kind of wholesale it to him and then actually get him the loan. I don't want to say, well, okay, I know Patrick, he has, he's a lender, and just hand it off to him. I mean, I needed to get something out of this deal also.
Well, if you don't have a contract, you don't have leverage, right?
Right. So how do I go about doing that?
Who found the house, the buyer or you?
The buyer. He found the house, and he came to me.
So you can't make some money on arranging a loan for him?
Technically, let me jump in here. Technically, Dorette, if somebody has an opportunity like that and they're trying to negotiate it, and then you were to come in and get it under contract, that's you going around that person. And that could create some friction in the relationship between you two. Does that make sense?
What? Oh, because he approached me.
Yes, but why did he approach you? He knows that you got connections to money. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I initiated on Facebook. If you need money, you can call me or check me out.
All right. Well, so perform.
Right, but how do I?
Why do you want to get involved with the wholesale end? You're pushing yourself as the money bags, or a money funnel.
Okay. So what do you suggest that I do then?
Connect them with the money and get paid by the lender, or from the buyer, or better still, from both of them.
There's just two things, Durrett. I agree with you, Gary. And what I'm hearing is very confusing. What you're telling me, there's not congruency in your actions. So you're out there and you're advertising yourself as a loan broker, but you're trying to wholesale this to somebody who brought you an opportunity. I'll be honest with you. If I was the buyer and you locked up a property that I brought to you that I wanted to get a loan on, I would not be happy.
I wouldn't buy it from you. I wouldn't do business.
I don't think we'd have a relationship moving forward. That's just me being honest with you. Now, I know that you're trying to hustle and trying to make money, but you got to think about every perspective in this. Now, if you want to wholesale. Don't, it's not going to help you saying, hey, guys, I can get you loans.
Here, I have a thought here. Durrett, have you watched Pace's Avatar series?
Yes, I have.
All right, so what's your avatar?
What's my avatar? Well, actually, I wanted to start out as wholesaling.
Then focus on that, and your message when you're out on social media should be, I'm buying cash, send me your deals.
Right, but I'm also a broker.
You got to pick one.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, pick one per relationship. Okay.
Right. Right. But with this guy, you suggest that I just go with the brokering and just.
Okay, well, I mean, the guy's bringing the property to you. He's asking for help getting money so he can do a flip. I don't know if he's a viable candidate, someone you should be lending money to or connecting, but the role of connector, that's one of the avatars.
Yeah, okay.
People together, putting money and borrowers together, that's a legit thing. And you could probably get something from both parties for doing it if it's a good match you're making. It's just no different than matchmaking. That's what that role does.
So how do I make?
I want to give you something. I want to give you something that's going to help you answer this question.
Yeah.
Today, one of my team members brought me an opportunity. It's a house in Southern California. It's cash flowing $7,000 a month. They want $1 million to buy this business. It's in like an assisted living facility. Okay. Now we could make a ton of money on this deal, but you know what I told him? I said, ditch it, abandon that opportunity. Do you know why? Because that's not what we do in this business. That's not what we do in our business. Now, if we went and we tried to chase every little thing that we think we could make money on, we would never make any money at all, Dorette. So I'm telling you right now, I don't need to answer these questions, because what you need to do before you do anything is decide, am I going to be a loan broker or am I going to be a wholesaler? And you need to take everything that you've got that's inside of you and focus on that one thing and dominate. Don't be, a jack of all trades, because most jack of all trades that I know, they're broke.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. I totally agree with where Patrick is. Pick a lane.
Yeah.
Lane and stay,
And become the best at that.
Yeah.
Right. So if
I don't want to win, I want to make everybody else quit.
Yeah. So in this case, I would just continue with the brokering then, but how do I approach that then?
Approach what?
I'm not a mean person. I need everybody to win across the board.
Well, look, you got to be congruent. So you marketed yourself as a loan broker in this specific situation. So you locking up the property is completely like, it's not what you said you were going to do to perform. If you're going to perform in this relationship, you're going to be acting as a loan broker. If you want to make quick cash and trade paper, you need to be a wholesaler and tell the guy, you know what? I'm sorry for taking up your time. I want to focus on this. I'm going to be focusing on wholesaling, and be honest.
What I really want
to bring your deals to that guy.
Right. I really want to help him though.
Do you want to help? Okay. If do you want to help people, Durrett?
Yes, I do.
You want to help people? You can't help anybody until you help yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And you cannot help yourself until you make a decision. So if you want to be the loan broker that helps everybody, great, do it. You got to choose one or the other. Guys, and those of you who are listening, there's so many shiny objects out there. You got to focus. I'm
Okay.
glad that you asked this question. I'm glad that you raised your hand, because I made the same mistake when we first started out. And Gary would yell at us in our meetings. You got to disqualify. He'd say it all the time. And in my head, I'd be thinking, well, I might be able to make some money on this deal. And now it's like, I tell my team, nope, that's not what we do here. We're not focused on that. If it's creative, send it to me. I'll look it over, but keep moving and looking for cash deals. That's what I tell my team.
Okay. So, you think I should actually go with the broker, and then
I think you need to go back and think about really what you want to do, what avatar you want to be, and focus on that. Get good at something, and then if you want to expand your business and your interests, okay. But you got to choose a lane right now.
Yep.
If real estate, if you're new to real estate, then choose a path to follow for a while and see how you do. But it's not fair. It's not fair to the people you're dealing with. Say, hey, I'm a source for money, and then somebody identifies themselves. Hey, here's a property I want to buy, and then, well, somehow I want to make more money on you by wholesaling it to you.
Right.
I mean, can you put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand how sketchy that sounds?
Yeah, and it's just because I don't know how. I'm not trying to be
do not have a scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
There's plenty of money here for everybody to make. Do not have that mentality that you have to make money on everything. You need to make friends. You need to build a reputation. You need to build, relationships. That's what's important when you're getting started in any business.
Okay.
And build your skills, and the money will eventually get there. I mean, I watched Patrick go through this whole process. He's killing it right now. He's one of the higher level wholesalers now in the state of California. And 6 months ago, he was telling me, I want to quit. I was looking for another job.
Yep.
But
I made less than minimum wage my first year at real estate.
Yeah.
I was working 12-hour days, and for the entire year, I made $26,000.
Yeah, well, I started out as a broker, so I think I'm going to go back, but it's not with Pace. I had someone else, so I think I'm going to actually go back to that person with the brokering, because that's how I started. But then when I start to see,
if you can't help them get the money, then don't help. Say, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you, but don't string them along. And don't look for backdoor ways to make money on them. That's not going to build a relationship. And somebody who starts doing flips, I'm telling you, people get hooked on flips. That's a disease for which there's no known cure. They're like an addiction. It's worse than drug addiction, doing flips, if you really love doing them. So that's somebody who's going to come back to the well again and again and again. Isn't that what you want? A relationship that's fruitful, that's evergreen?
Exactly.
Or do you want to take advantage of one time taking advantage of somebody?
Yes, I can help him. So I'm very grateful that I was able to have a conversation with you, because I was very confused at the time, and you were being very honest, in telling me what you think I should do. And so I am gonna get the money to him. So I'm just gonna right now just stick with the brokering. Good. And then eventually I just branch out differently.
It's okay to make changes. If you're really not liking something, or you feel like you made, you can make a correction and pursue something else, but don't do people the way you're suggesting. I want to make somehow you offered to find money. If you're not going to do that for him, then say, you know what, I don't think we're a good match or whatever, and let the person go. And go find somebody else. Don't string them along. All right.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Dorette.
Okay.
Keep coming to these meetings.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mike, Maxim, how did you break out in wholesaling? Mike, I think I know what you're asking. Not a very specific question, but go to my YouTube channel. There's a video. It's called How I Had a Breakthrough in Real Estate. And I go over 5 or 7 things really that you need to dial in to have a breakthrough in real estate. Check out my YouTube channel. That's a long conversation though. It's not a single factor thing, guys. It's not like I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna be rich today, right? Like you have to commit and you have to decide. The Latin root of decision means to cut off. You have to cut off anything else and commit to one thing and focus on that one thing and get really good at it. I'm just now starting to build out a creative business and structure that, modeling my acquisition business, because we're creating consistent revenue in the business. And my team members are able to take a transaction from start to escrow, and then we take over. Okay. So right now, as I'm on this meeting, they're making calls and they're negotiating while I'm here with you guys. Okay. So once you get to that level, you can then focus on other things. But it's not until you're actually making consistent revenue that you have a business, right? All right, guys. Let's jump back into.
Do you have more of a program here? Or I thought we were going to do some calls.
Well, I wanted to finish this because
Okay.
we were on price last.
Hitting the basics once again.
Yep, that's right, baby. Timeline. So if it's on market, generally what I'm asking them is, when are you reviewing and accepting offers? And if they say something like, oh, they'll just take an offer as it comes, they're probably not motivated to sell. I want a specific timeline. They're going to accept an offer at this date. They're accepting the highest and best at this date. That's what I want to hear. Okay. The other things associated to timeline would be like close of escrow. When do you want to open escrow? When do you want to close? And I like actually asking those questions too, because it gets them thinking about us performing. So they change their listening of me in the conversation when I'm asking about, like, when do you want to open escrow? When do you want to close? I'm basically telling them subconsciously, when do you want me to pay you? Right. And that's resonating in their mind as, oh, this guy's legit. He's going to bring money to the table. Okay. So really, really important. All right. Anything you want to add to that timeline? Gary?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So without comps, condition, occupancy, motivation, price, and timeline, you really don't have enough information to get assistance on a potential lead, guys. In fact, it's not a lead. I had another baby elephant send me an address, and he had used PropStream to see what the mortgage rate was. It was on market for 60 days. And he's like, hey, I got this lead. And I'm like, great. Did you call? And he's like, no, I didn't make a call. And I said, you don't have a lead. You have an address, right? Because without that information, I don't know what to do with it. So it's really important that you guys call, get this information, and then and only then do you have something to work with. All right. All right. So what do you think? Should we do some role playing? Or should we? Jason Lee, can you wholesale me the assisted business to me? Sure. Do you have my contact information? And are you licensed? If you're not licensed, then you're going to be wasting your time. I can get you the information if you're serious about that.
Great, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Oh, are you not driving? You're actually stationary?
No, yeah.
You're in the garage.
I'm at a warehouse.
It's good to see you,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. No, no. But I needed to find a home for her, so I'm not just trying to find a shiny object, but it is something that I'm looking into do. So I'm not just saying that I want it for just for money.
I think, do you have my email?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot me an email.
Thank you.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to spend a lot of time and energy on it. So I'll shoot you the information. If you can do something with it, great. If not, I'm going to move on.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. CJ, what's up, buddy? CJ Adams has his hand
Camera
up.
on, camera on.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Turn
What's
on
up?
that
Where's that?
camera. Turn
Where's
on.
that?
Let me
Smile.
I'm on my phone, that's why. Let me see if I can fix it. Wait, let me see. Did that do it? No. Oh, I have to go to allow Zoom my privacy, or let me go.
That's fine. Do you want to
See.
spotlight him so he's up on stage with us?
I can't spotlight him. I can pin him, I guess. But no, I can't, because then it'll want to remove the spotlights. It doesn't let you do combination of pins and spotlights.
How is technology getting worse? You know? All right, CJ, what can we help you with, buddy? CJ, you there? All right, I can't hear him.
There we go.
You know who did join us? Mike Matthias.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. What do you got for us, CJ?
Yeah, so funny enough, I'm actually driving today. I'm doing my DoorDash job right now. Shout out to the drivers.
Yeah, thank you for your
So
service.
I think I mentioned it to you guys last time. So I'm working with, you guys know Giles Thomas, right? Yeah, I'm working with her on potentially this 13 unit building. I know the multifamily is something, it's a little bit higher level, but this is more of a simple question. I wanted to, so the seller is open to seller financing, and right now we're pretty much right at the point where we're going to start like underwriting and looking at numbers and see what's possible. I just got off the phone with the agent before this Zoom call, and he pretty much just told me text him everything that we would need. So I just wanted to ask you guys while I'm on the phone, well, while I'm on the Zoom, so I can like type up or text, every single thing that we would need to run the numbers. I know a good portion of it, but I feel like I'm missing some stuff.
Okay. What state is this in?
This is Maryland, so this is a 13 unit in Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah, not DC. No more DC. No more DC.
Okay. So I mean, you want a trailing 12, a T12, right?
T12.
And you want to see financials. You want to see a profit and loss statement, because what that's going to tell you, if you look at expenses in the past, it's if you know, I mean, again, this is advanced stuff, guys. Like, yeah. And let me just do a side note real quick, CJ, and this isn't just for you, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
I got people who haven't closed their first deal yet, and they're sending me multifamily deals.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like
I'm one of them.
It's like way out of most people's league. And like, yeah. I consider myself a multifamily investor in training. And I know, I can look at it and know if it's a deal or not.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, guys, like I said earlier, you got to focus and you got to decide. And I think the lowest hanging fruit is cash deals or subject to low equity.
Yeah.
And focus on either one, or both, but have a primary focus on one, single family homes, So
definitely.
That all being said, you're going to need a trailing 12, a profit and loss, to see what this will tell you. If you see expenses in specific times, you can ask questions like, what happened with this expenses in this month? Was there an electrical issue? Was there a water issue? Was there what happened here? Was there a vacancy on this month? What happened with this vacancy? You got to like, when we say underwriting, generally what we're looking at is we're looking at numbers. We're talking about numbers, but true underwriting is sticking a microscope up the seller's ass and asking like, what happened with this property at this time? What do I need to know? Like, and you need to dive in deep, see if it's true investment, to see what kind of some capital expenditure needs to go into the property, and where rents are where they need to be, right? Because I can almost guarantee that the rents aren't stabilized in that property, right? You need to figure out a rent roll.
Yeah, rent roll. That's what I put down.
You got to figure out like who's on what lease, what's the size of the unit they're in, what bed and bath count is in each unit, That's going to tell you like who's paying what when their leases are up and what the market could actually bring. So the value add play when you're buying multifamily, right? And it's also going to apply to your underwriting in terms of your numbers. Like, how are you financing this? Are you going to get private money? Are you going to do a cash out refinance once you fix it up? Like all of these numbers play a role in your cash on cash return. This is end game shit. It's advanced. So
definitely.
I mean, single family home underwriting is like, it's like 3 dimensions. This is like 4 dimensions.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I don't advise anyone to do what I'm doing right now. As I mentioned in the last Zoom call with you guys, I was focusing way too much on multifamily, trying to like shoot for the moon. And this is the last of that little bit of properties I was looking at. I have a whole set of things for straight wholesale cash deals that I'm planning on jumping on the week coming up. But because this was presented to me and they said that they were open to seller finance, I said, hey, why not? Let me try to mess with this one. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll be able to just put complete focus on the single family properties that I've been coming across. But yeah, no, definitely when you're in the beginning, don't do this. I'm partnering up with people that already do this, which is why I feel somewhat confident to go after it and being able to be in the community and pass the information back on to you guys. It's reassuring that it can be figured out. Something can be made from it, whether it's a learning experience or actually closing a deal. So I appreciate you guys nonetheless.
Right. And so for this one, what's your exit strategy?
I'm not sure. So the first thing that came to mind was partner up with Jael, because not only is she a private money lender, but she's also an investor and an agent, and she's looking for properties to purchase in Baltimore. I think she might already have some stuff in Baltimore,
Is
but
there a management company in place?
no, not that I know of.
So you're not buying a business, you're buying a building.
Yeah.
And so your
So
business partner, quote unquote, better be experienced.
yeah,
You're gonna make a
she's
huge
she's the young lady who just interviewed Pace last Sunday.
I'm
Have you
not
seen that
familiar.
video going around? Yeah, she interviewed Pace.
I wish I had enough time to be on those Zooms.
Yeah, yeah. I met her through a Zoom with another member who's in the free Facebook group, and I got connected with her and her mother. They have like a private money lending company, and she's also an agent in Maryland. And ever since then, I've just been making sure I speak to her. There's an event in DC tomorrow. No, on Saturday, and she's going to be speaking there. So I'm working with people of that nature, if that
So
helps.
you're trying to get equity stake in this multifamily with her.
Pretty much.
Have you
And
negotiated that with her?
maybe cash flow if it's, I don't know exactly where it could lead. I want to run through the process um, of just seeing what happens once you get numbers in place, because she wants to get on the Zoom with me and show me like what it looks like when you're plugging in numbers, what you have to factor in. But the legwork is kind of on me to collect it. Since I'm already doing the phone calls, I'm confident enough to speak with an agent and ask the questions. This was just kind of like the next phase. Um, so I
Yeah.
thought, why not ask you guys to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah. From my understanding and experience, if you want equity, bringing the deal isn't enough. Usually you got to bring some cash. And if you look at most deals, if you're if you're borrowing at 12% annum, it's not going to cash flow unless you bring some type of cash to the table.
Right.
So I mean, all this just depends on the state and the deal. But anyways,
Yeah.
Focus, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Every time I come back, I'm saying something about a multifamily. Everyone else, focus on single family wholesale, cash deals, sub twos. Those are where the money are. I'm hard headed, but I'm learning. So next time I reach out, it would definitely be about something much more simple and something that I feel like can be streamlined faster. That's for sure.
Right on, man. Well, good luck. Let us know how that turns out.
Definitely. I'll keep you guys updated. I love jumping in on here. I'll probably do the jump in here with you and Gary the most next to like Don Walker. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Good luck with it,
Bro,
CJ.
thank you. I'm gonna go back to door dashing.
Yeah, go dash on a door.
All right, guys. It's I think it's time, guys. Are we gonna do some role playing? What do you think, Gary? Or do you guys have any other questions?
If we've got eager participants, you don't have any actual calls to make, right?
Me, no.
No. Okay.
Well, I
Last
do,
time
but
you had them teed up.
I do, but I'm not gonna. I don't. I'm organized enough to make those calls right now.
Okay.
All right, guys. Anybody in the chat or in this Zoom want to do a little bit of role playing? This is the five pillars that we are just talking about. Putting that to work on a call. No one's raising their hands, guys. Look at this. 31 people. All of you guys are experts. You're either experts or you're too scared.
Hey,
Only way that you're going to get better at this is jumping out there, guys.
We could end it early too. I just got notice of a fire I got to put out. So
that's called a pull away, guys. What Gary just did. That's a sales technique.
Yeah, well, it's a serious fire for sure.
All right, let's open it up to questions then if nobody has the cojones.
Cojones, huh? That's what we're looking for.
No questions, guys? Cindy, you got a question? Or you've got cojones? What do you have? Both?
Well, I don't actually have those, but if you want me, I'll cold call. I cold call all day. I mean,
Okay. Do you want to put your phone on speaker and give somebody a call?
Okay. Do you have someone for me? Because I don't have anyone right now. I mean, I do. Actually, I do. Let's go to my list.
Can you raise your hand so Gary can spotlight you or pin you?
The video has to go on.
Why? You guys, Wednesdays are my cold call days. Okay, so whatever. I look haggy today. That's fine. I always look haggy on this
I
call.
look haggy every day. What are you worried about?
So I do have something, and we'll just go through it. I don't know if my speaker will work. You're doing Sunbelt, so you'll do Nevada, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I tried to pull this off a prop stream. So Patrick and Gary.
Everybody want to hear Cindy do a cold call?
I mean, if you don't, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not afraid. I don't know.
Show some love for Cindy.
Cindy, focus on making the call. We're going to give you some feedback.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let me just get my little thing here and we will call this one. Okay.
I think we got to find out what the motivation is in this crowd today.
Right.
Sorry to disappoint. Gary's like, not Cindy again.
No, Cindy's everybody's saying go for it, Cindy, in the chat.
All right, so so it's I'm going to give you a 721 Dragon Peak Drive, and I don't just pull up prop stream here. I wasn't prepared, sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's right. I'm thrilled that you're willing to get put on the spot here.
I mean, okay. I like I said, I'll learn.
Well, you do it all day, you said.
Yeah, but that's different. I sell advertising.
Oh,
I own a magazine, right? So that's just like but it's okay. What's the freaking password, guys? Hold on.
What kind of magazine?
It's a private publication that direct mails to Westlake Village, to like North Ranch and Lake Sherwood. So my job is to create the content and also to sell advertisers.
Got it.
Why can't I find this?
I'm familiar with that business model.
Okay, so hold on. Are you really? Then you know how I get my beat up all day, right? Because I only go to 1,500 households. I don't go to thousands. Okay, so I am going to put this address in, and then I will get a phone number, right? Because there's no phone numbers on this.
Put the address in where?
Prop stream, I just did.
Oh, you can skip trace, yeah.
So I don't have that on this. I'm borrowing someone's. They're helping me out until I can actually buy it.
Well, then,
where is you know what? Let's just do
True People Search.
Yeah, let's do this.
Why don't you just call something that's on market? They'll pick up.
Okay. Let's just do Redfin. That's just easier. I can just do this quicker. Yeah, this is only $11 million. Do you want me to call on this one? What the fuck? That's probably not a good idea. So I don't know how that got on the list. Let's do this one. I do have a question though. Are pre-foreclosures good ones to call on?
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to target. But
well, right now I'm just trying to give you guys leads until I can make money, right? So that's my question for you is, do you go after those?
I don't typically go after foreclosures. It's just not something that I personally like to deal with.
Okay.
We actually have one that's in contract right now, and it's just been a pain in the ass trying to get a hold of the seller because they don't want to sell, but they have to.
Okay, so it's the listing agent, right? Let's call her.
Cool.
And I hope you guys can hear her. We'll put her on speaker.
Hey, you've reached Katie with Mount Charleston Realty, a family-owned and operated real estate company. I can't come to the phone right now, but if you leave a message, I will give you a call back shortly. Thanks for calling and have a great day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Caitlin. My name is Cindy Zerlin, and I'm calling you regarding your property, 4947 Snow White Road. If you can call me back, I have some questions, and I am a buyer. Thank you so much. I will text you as well. 310-849-7670. Bye. All right. Do it. You guys call? Do you text them next, or just keep going down the line? Let's just keep going down the line. Next, 700 Sunray Park.
Patrick, who are you texting?
Should I just stop, or am I boring you guys?
Apparently, we're boring Patrick.
Apparently,
he's got something more important.
I can stop calling. I have.
We can't hear you, Patrick. Are we supposed to be able to hear you?
I'm over here making money.
Oh, okay.
Hi, this is Dave.
Hi, Dave. This is Cindy Zerlin. How are you today?
Good, Cindy. How are you?
I am good. How is Nevada today? How is the weather?
It's warm, 97.
All right. Well, I'm calling you from California. We're not too bad either. Listen, I got a question for you. I'm calling regarding your 700 Sunray Park Street, and I was calling to see if it's still on the market.
No, it's closed. We closed escrow.
Oh, okay. Do you have anything? Okay. Do you have anything else? Thank you. Have a good day. Fuck you. Okay. That was not good.
Was that an agent?
Yeah, he just hung up on me.
So just some quick feedback. I wouldn't rapport has to present itself, right? So like what I would do is just get straight to the point in the intro. Hey, my name is Cindy. I'm calling in regards to 123 Main Street. Do you have a minute to chat? And then, okay, great. So I'm just looking at the pictures here. I just had a few quick questions.
Okay.
Ask them about condition. That's going to get them to talk. Then in that, they might say something like, oh, it's a beautiful school and my daughter went there. Oh, you have a daughter? I have a daughter too. That's an opportunity for rapport, right? when you call in, you're like, how's the weather? It's like, they're going to be like,
Well,
why are you wasting my time?
what Cindy's doing is trying to use a sales technique called the icebreaker.
Oh, no, wait, I'm not using any sales technique. This is who I am. I actually do care about people, but I'll get to the point because
but what I'm
trying
saying
to
is
say,
like asking people about the weather. You're just, whether you're aware of it or not, that's a technique called icebreaker.
Oh,
but it's such an obvious icebreaker that it can work against you.
Okay.
Unless you're asking, how did you just, unless it's somebody you've done enough research to know, hey, weren't you guys in the path of Hillary last week? This weekend, how'd you survive that? That's something, getting a little bit more specific and shared experience, something like that can work.
Okay. Well, I'll get to the point, but
but you came off in is too much of a cold caller, though you're really good at it.
All right, give somebody else a call. Let's see if we can make
it. Oh, well, these are all like ridiculously high, like 15 million. Wait a second.
Where are you getting this list from?
Well, it was from PropStream, and I tried to pull it up low interest, but I don't think I did this right. Hold on, let's see. 499,000 sold. So these are all sold like within days.
Well, let's not call it the sold list.
All right, well,
really productive.
All right. For sale. Okay, I got one. I got one. I will do the Patrick cold call. Let's get to the point.
It works.
Oh, I know, I'm sure it does. I wasn't criticizing. I'm just saying I'm very different, but I think it has to. Hey, John, this is Cindy Zerlin. How are you today?
I'm sorry, you broke up there. What was your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Cindy Zerlin. How are you today?
Good. What's up, Cindy?
Nothing. I'm just calling regarding your 1505 Fantastic Court, and I'm calling to see if it's still active.
It is.
Okay. Well, I wanted to find out more about the property and find out the condition of it. It looks good by the pictures, but I wanted to see if there's anything that I can't see, like any problems with the roof, foundation, HOA.
No, it's in great shape. The only reason that it wasn't sold is there is a tenant who's a long lease. Is coming toward a close here pretty quick, and then it will sell very, very quick once that is on of the obstacles that.
Oh, yeah, I see it's been on there 145 days. Okay. Yep. Well, okay, so obviously you just gave me the motivation. So it looks like they just want to get rid of it pretty quick.
Well, they don't want to get rid of it pretty quick because we wouldn't be on the market that long. So they're not looking to fire sale it, so they can, it's priced exactly where it should be. Okay. And it's going to go pretty close to where it's priced. The only reason it hasn't sold is what I just shared.
Okay. All right. So you told me there's a renter. You told me the timelines. And you sound like you're pretty firm on the price. Yep. Okay. Well, listen, I work with a couple of investors, and we're interested in looking at deals across the Sun Belt. And we're looking at homes that we could create some sort of cash flow. So I wanted to find out more about if you are open to any sort of creative financing or anything like that.
No, it's going to sell conventional, and owner doesn't want to carry any of the other crazy programs that are out there.
Okay, no crazy programs. All right, well, listen, is there anything else that you have available that might be like maybe low equity or low interest rates that we can look at?
I don't.
Okay. Well, may I keep you in my Rolodex and just follow up with you at a later time? All right. Well, all right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, bring it on. I don't know if I got through everything.
I think you did a good job.
That was a lot better.
Yeah.
That flowed a lot better. So one thing I'll say, guys, one thing I would not say in your conversations is creative financing. Okay.
Oh.
I would just take that out of your vocabulary altogether. Two reasons. Number one, most agents don't know what the hell you're talking about. Right. And number two, it sounds like a scam.
Which is what he said. But what would you say then to him? This obviously was not the right list because it was low equity. So where would I have gone with that? What else would you have asked that I didn't ask? I got nervous.
Generally, what I would say in this case, it just didn't seem like, when an agent tells you what their opinion is on the property, you have to remember they're also whispering that in their client's ear, right? So he seemed like he was very confident in knowing his market, knowing that it was going to sell retail, no problem as soon as it's vacant. So if that property was vacant for that long and they weren't selling, it's a whole different ball game, right? It's a whole different story for me in that conversation. But what he was telling us is the time that the clock hasn't even started ticking yet because this thing hasn't been vacant.
Okay.
Right. And that's honestly, I also think the same way. Like if they haven't shown a property, or if there's a tenant in there and that's what's preventing them from showing a property, the timeline hasn't started yet. Like the days on market, in my opinion, it hasn't even started yet. As soon as it's vacant, that's when the days on market starts. Right.
So my question would be, I work with investors looking for, okay, what is the, I'll have to go back to your script. I think I have Don in my, that's why I'm looking at the wrong script.
What I would say, like if I were in your role, right, what I would say is, I'm a junior associate at a large company. We're one of the biggest buyers in the Sun Belt. We're targeting specific properties that are low equity. This one came across my desk and I just wanted to give you a quick call. Right now we're aggressively picking up rentals to offset tax depreciation, and this fits our criteria. It looks like this is a low or no equity property. Let me ask you a question, John. Would you and your seller be open to us paying out equity at your current asking price and then assuming that loan? And you let him talk. He's either going to say yes, no, what the hell are you talking about, or maybe, right? If it's a no, then you go, oh, so you've spoken to your seller about this then? Right. And they're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, then you go, oh, okay, so they weren't interested then. You got to kind of play dumb, right? Like, I just want to get confirmation, John, and I'll get out of your hair. They say, no, they're not interested, and go, oh, okay, well, before I let you go, it sounds like you're busy. I'm just curious, what was their objection to that? Well, you're going to default. They're at risk. Oh, I see, John. Well, what if there was a way that I could show you that we will not default on that property? Do you think they'd be interested then, John? Well, what do you mean? How can you do that? Well, John, we have a portfolio of thousands of doors at this point, and we're liquid for hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, one of my partners is the exact person who made this strategy popular in real estate. You might hate us for it, John, but it's the truth. You make a joke, right? Because this guy's getting these phone calls right now. You're not the only one that knows that.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Okay, well, I'm going to listen to the recording. I couldn't type as fast as you were talking, but I wanted to get the junior buyer. So you're saying a junior associate. I'm trying to figure out how to introduce.
Look, you could be a partner at the biggest company, whatever. That doesn't really matter. How you position yourself is important, but how you're saying it is also really important. Okay. So creative finance, like I don't ever say that to anybody. I used to in the beginning, but then I realized, again, number one, they don't know what the hell it is. And two, it sounds like a scam. So I'll say low equity, we're assuming the loan. If they're open to that idea and they're open to talking about that, then I'll go another layer deeper and I'll talk about what subject to is and why we do it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to listen to this recording and get it better the next time.
You did great. I think that second call was good. Just got to tighten it up a little bit. All right, guys. Give Cindy some love in the chat, guys. She was the only one out of 30 people that had the cojones. We're going to change the middle name. Cindy Cojones Zerlin. We appreciate you, Cindy. And guys, be open to feedback. Be open to getting better in these calls. And here's what I want to say. Be prepared, guys. What we want to start doing in these calls is having you come up and talk. Because if you can't come up here and talk to us, you're just going to crash and burn on the phones, guys. If you want to make money in this real estate business, you've got to talk to people. You have to. You know, you're not going to make any money, praying and thinking opportunities are going to come your way. You got to take action. All right, guys, we're at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time. Any more questions? Anything that we can clarify for you guys?
When is it going to be up on the recording so I can listen to your script?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay.
If Gary, you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, it's got a render on my machine. I'll try to get it up there today.
He's got a crank on the side of his computer.
I've got a gamer system. It's got a big ass video card in it.
You're a gamer?
Card. No, I like to edit video, but if you go out and buy a professional graphics machine versus a gamer machine and compare the specs, you could get the gamer machine for half the price, because it's, even though the specs are similar, the professional graphics machine demands a higher price.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when the hell do you have time to play games?
Gamer, I'm not a gamer. And this thing, it's got like disco lights and whatever, it's supposed to look as cool as it functions, and it's massive. It's massive machine.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post your homework in the chat. Besides what I just posted in the chat, guys, take those 5 pillars, write them out. Look at the scripts. By the way, I'm still working on those, but they're good enough for now. And start practicing with somebody. Just, practice with somebody. You're the agent or the seller. Just do it. Just run through it. Even if you're in the shower, guys, and like no one else is there and you're talking to yourself like a crazy person. Practice this, guys. Practice this. Okay?
Yeah, everybody got that copied, your homework?
All right, guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with Gary and I at another installation of real estate domination.
Whatever it is we do here. Yeah. Monday, we'll be back at it again, 3:00. Be sure to join us. Looking forward to seeing some of you folks again. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Love you guys. Take it easy.
Bye. Weekend. Bye.